Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your entrepreneurship tutor, Professor Henry Bwisa of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. Today, I want to talk about researcher proposal writing. And I'm taking a minimalist approach. What do I mean by that? That I'm just going to give you what is the irreducible minimum that should go into a proposal writing. There are many versions. There are more than what I'm going to talk about, but mine is a minimalist one. And this is part one of the seven or the several parts of what I'm going to talk about. Now, you can get me at bwihem@gmail.com. You can call me at +254, that's Kenya, 722-858-507. But you can also reach me at my university email, hbwisa@jkuart.ac.ke. Now, this is the introduction. I am saying every student nearing the end of his or her degree program and his or her dissertation or even thesis and is on the horizon needs to draft or craft a convincing research proposal. Now, simply stated, your research proposal is a structured, formal document that explains what you plan to research, why it's worth researching, and how you plan to investigate it. Yes, there is no universally accepted structure of a research proposal. Different academic institutions have adopted different structures. Some versions of the structure of a research proposal are as follows. Yes, you see this one? Number one, example number one. The title, the abstract, table of contents, introduction, method, timetable, budget, health and safety, references, appendices. This one, number two, title, abstract, table of contents, introduction, literature review, research question or questions, methodology, timetable, budget, health and safety, references and appendices. This one, number three, title, abstract, table of contents, introduction, research methods or method, literature review, model or theoretical framework, design method, timetable and budget, thesis outline, reference and appendices. And this one, number four, table of contents, abstract, project description, methodology, timetable and budget, reference and appendices. So you can see these are four such. There's yet this one that gives you preliminary sections. The preliminary sections contain of, title page, abstract, table of contents, which is optional, perhaps a glossary or other useful preparatory information. Then we come to research background and the discussion, which contains the research problem and the rationale for the study, discussion, literature review that provides, context, that is, literature and theory relevant to the study, and a justification for your research question. Then objective or objectives, or research question or questions, or hypothesis or hypothesis. Then significancy or expected contribution of the study, and then scope and or limitations of the study. Then we come to the section of methodology or approach, which contains methodology, a description of and rationale for the methodology, design and methods, data analysis, a description of and rationale for the proposed, method of data analysis. And then we come to the program management, which is the ethical considerations, if appropriate, potential risks or problems, and how they would be, addressed. Then research program, time frame, budget, resources, health, and safety considerations. And then finally, supplementary sections, references, and perhaps appendices. So you can see this is yet another version. We still have other versions. Look, here we get elements of research proposal: the title, the abstract, table of contents, section A, introduction, section B, review of the related literature, section C, methodology, section D, ethical or legal consideration, section E, time schedule, and then references. Yes, that's yet another. So we go on. There is yet another, which starts with the introduction. The introduction answers the what, why, and how. Here you answer questions like research objectives, like, summary of the proposal. Then from there, we go to the next, which is literature review, the why and the how. Here we ask, literature on the topic, literature on the methods, theoretical approach. You have to find a hole. You have to find a gap in the literature and look for the debates in the literature. Then we go to the next, which is methodology, the how. Here it is the research design, research procedures, the kind of data we want, the collection procedures. And these are going to, selection and access considerations, human subjects review, ethics statement, costs and funding. And then we come to the next, which is section 4, preliminary data, the what. We're talking of evidence of the importance. You have to provide evidence of the evidence of the importance of that data. Interim, methodology. Here we're talking about preliminary findings. What do you expect to find? Important categories and relationships. What are they going to be? That is the expectations. And then we come to statement of limitations. Here we are talking about alternatives, weaknesses. We're talking about what your research will do. And we go on to 5 conclusions: the what, the how, and the why. We're talking of what contributions have we made? We're talking of the importance of all that. Yes, that is yet another structure. But now we're talking, having looked at all those, I am now bringing what I'm calling the irreducible minimum of chapters in a research proposal. You have seen that there is no universally accepted. The structure that I've given you vary. So I am coming up with what I'm calling the irreducible minimum. In every research proposal, these sections must appear. 1, the title. It answers the questions: what are we doing? Why are we doing? And how are we doing it? That is the first section. 2, the abstract. The abstract is a summary of the proposal. 3 is now chapter 1. And in chapter 1, we talk of introduction. It answers the questions: what, why, and how. And then we come to chapter 2, literature review. It answers the questions: why and how. Why are we doing it? How are we going to do it? Then it comes to chapter 3, the methodology. It answers the question: how. How are we going to do it? And then we have references or bibliography, which answers the questions: which works. Let us now talk about the title and abstract. Title. The title and topic are generally used interchangeably, but strictly speaking, they are not. In a typical quantitative study, the title carries the key variables, that is the independent and the dependent, in the study. Qualitative study titles may have no variable or even only one. A good title should be paraphrased from the general objective of the study. It therefore comes first, but may be the third aspect of the proposal to write after the statement of the problem and the general objectives. At these links of mine, I have explained the difference between topic and title, that first link. The second link, I'm advising on starting with the statement of the problem and not the title. And in the third link, I'm talking of selecting your research topic and then constructing a title. Now, let me give you some examples of quantitative research titles. The relationship between crime and statistics and immigration, that's purely quantitative. The impact of education on startups, very quantitative. The relationship between electoral results and investor confidence, very quantitative. The link between competitive risk assignment and estimated target market, quantitative. How is workplace diversity helping organizations become more productive, quantitative. Job satisfaction and employee turnover intention. What does organization culture have to do with this? That is quantitative. The effect of community engagement and the different project phases on project sustainability in public universities. In Kenya, a case study of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, quantitative. The bank's portfolio diversification on financial performance of commercial banks in Kenya, very quantitative. Entrepreneurial orientation and the performance of agricultural cooperatives in Uasin Gishu County, very quantitative. Supply chain relationship management practices and the performance of pharmaceutical firms in Kenya, very quantitative. And now, let's look at some examples of qualitative research titles. What factors are associated with the poor households engaging in entrepreneurship? Very qualitative. How social media is affecting the physical social engagement of teenagers in urban areas? Very qualitative. Which learning style is efficient for autistic children? Very qualitative. The assessment of the contributing factors that lead to failed healthcare systems in rural areas? Qualitative. How to set up an operational pest control activity in a society? Qualitative. How culture contributes to community entrepreneurial growth? Qualitative. How COVID-19 impacts low-income neighborhoods? Very qualitative. Effects of negative ethnicity on development in Kenya? Qualitative. The role of mass media in promoting and scrutinizing politics in Kenya? Qualitative. Evaluating the role of parental care and the lack of it thereof in educational performance? Very qualitative. And now let's talk about the abstract. What's an abstract? It is a condensed version of the proposal that highlights the major points covered, concisely describes the content and scope of the proposal. Abstracts are typically 100 to 250 words and follow set patterns. Now, why is an abstract so important? It helps readers describe if they should read the entire proposal. It summarizes the major aspects of the entire paper in a prescribed sequence that includes the overall purpose of the study and the research problem or problems to be investigated, the basic design of the study, major expected findings. And therefore, the abstract is the second to be read after the title, but it is the last to be written. Now, what are the key elements that should be included in the abstract? The background, which is a simple opening sentence or two placing the work in the context. The aims, one or two sentences giving the purpose of the work. The methods, one or two sentences explaining what will be done. The results, one or two sentences indicating what you hope to accomplish with the project. Conclusions, one sentence giving the most important consequence of the work. What do the results mean? How will they be used? So the questions that you should pose to yourself to write the abstract should include, why do you want to do this study or project? Or why are you undertaking the project or the study? What will you do and how will you do it? What do you expect to find? And what do the findings mean? Here are some helpful tips when writing an abstract. Read your proposal with the goal of abstracting in mind. Look specifically for these main parts of the article or proposal: the purpose, the methods, the scope, results, conclusions, and the recommendations. After you have finished reading the proposal, write a rough draft without looking back at what you are abstracting. Don't merely copy key sentences. You will put in too much or too little information. Don't rely on the way material was phrased. Summarize information in a new way. Revise your rough draft to correct weaknesses in organization, to improve transitions from point to point, to drop unnecessary information, to make sure it is complete and accurate, to eliminate wordiness, to fix errors in grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Now, in a separate video on this channel, I'm going to talk about chapter 1 of the research proposal, and as promised, I'll only talk about the irreducible minimum that should be in the chapter. So, if you enjoyed this one, please like it, share it, subscribe to get more. But if you wish to support us bring you more, then please donate. And you can donate by going to that website, and the directions for donation will be given to you. You can also reach us through M-Pesa by codes number 547-6465. I hope this was helpful. Please have a useful introductory way. Won't you?